The headline reads, The Year of Mike Tirico. His first Super Bowl, the Olympics, the NBA playoffs. It's the year of Mike Tirico. He will be the dominant voice of 2026. We look ahead at the year to come. Marchand and Meterparel. Everybody loves sports media. I'm John Meterparel. He's Andrew Marchand. Andrew, why is this the year of Mr. Tirico?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Basically, when you look at the events he's going to be doing, now we've known this for a while. I mean, you look at really smart signings over the last decade, and I think you have to put Tirico in there because, they took Tirico from ESPN when they had Al Michaels on Sunday night. They had Bob Costas on the Olympics, and they said, we're going to have a hole soon. Now, Al never wanted to leave. Behind the scenes, that was a little bit controversial. Costas was moving on. Tirico succeeds Costas and does a really good job with that. And those are hard positions to fill. And if you don't do it right, you could end up with what happened with ESPN and Monday Night Football after Tirico left. And finally, they had to just throw the bag at Joe Buck and Troy Aikman to solve that problem. So NBC did a really good job. And this is Tirico, the culmination. Now he does a Super Bowl. He's going to do a Super Bowl. So I think when you look at 2026, Mike Tirico he's already there. I mean, he's been doing the Olympics. He's been around for a long time, but I do think this goes another level for Tirico.
Yeah, he's certainly captured the public's imagination, that's for sure. Let's go to our WSC Sports sponsorship, though. They capture our imagination.
Yeah, digital asset management, your league, your team, your network. You got to use WSC management, highlights in seconds. If you old highlight and you call up digital asset management, they use AI. They've been doing it for more than a decade. Check it out at WSC-sports.com. Mike Vaccaro is my guest on the main event for this week. Vaccaro, tremendous. He is one of the last legendary sports media columnists. We get into that. Great book he has coming on the Steinbrenners. We get into that. Just some tremendous stories. I think for me, obviously, he's perfect. He's someone who's does something similar to what he does in terms of my career. But I even if not, I think the stories are just great. Listen back to it the other day. Tremendous from Vaccaro. So check that out. We'll send that a little early too, like we did last week with Hughes.
The pride of St. Bonaventure. It's not Woj, it's Vaccaro.
Oh yeah, Vax Wax. Yep. Yeah, Chris LaPlaca, Tim Bontemps, Dan Barry. I mean, they probably think of themselves of one day maybe we could be like Ithaca College.
That's what I was waiting for. No question.
All right, let's get into it. Yeah, 2026. What do we got?
All right, let's talk about NBC. They have the Super Bowl, the Olympics in February. What don't they have?
You look at what Rick Cordella and NBC has done, and the one thing I would say is that they've made now a full year where you kind of need Peacock. Now, they have a lot of programming on NBC. That's so weird how that works with Versant being on cable with USA, but there's sort of a relationship there. They have the Olympics. That's going to be a big deal, as always. Winter Olympics, not as big as the summer, but the Winter Olympics. They have a Super Bowl. They have baseball now with Sunday Night Baseball, first round of the playoffs. That's going to be a big deal. They have morning baseball as well, regular season. The NBA, they're going to have a conference final that they rotate with Amazon, but this year is the first year of the deal. It's an NBC year, so they'll have a conference final. I mean, it's NBC Sports. There's nothing to sneeze at before this, but they've really now, with their entrance into baseball, with the NBA now full slate with your Tuesdays, and I think that's become secondhand. I just think NBC is going to be a big focus. They always have the Olympics every 2 years, and then when you add a Super Bowl in, it's just a dynamic combination that will make them at the forefront of everyone's minds.
Yeah, and also a strong presence in the booth in Tirico, as we've well documented throughout the year, and what he's going to have this year in the bag, so to speak. But every time I watch an NBC production, obviously it hits you every Sunday night with Sunday Night Football. It just feels big. First of all, it's an enjoyable watch. The graphics are visually pleasing. The entire look of the broadcast is visually pleasing. I think they've done a really good job staying ahead of technology in that regard. And they give you information. And I feel like I learned something, whether that's the announcers, the production crew. I think they're a buttoned-up group. And there's a consistency that you get from NBC that might not be there with other networks.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's very strong. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something that really they haven't done well. It'll be interesting to see what they do with baseball. We'll get into that. The great rebundling too. I want to get into that. More, we'll do a little more with NBC and Tirico. If you want to listen to the rest of the podcast, andrewmarchand.com, andrewmarchand.com, all our archives, and then you get 2 podcasts a week, andrewmarchand.com. Yeah, so